I'm Jessica Johnson Cope.
And I'm Waleed Cope. This is Commerce and Chill.
And we are back. Welcome to the latest episode of Commerce and Chill. I am Jessica Johnson Cope and
I'm Waleed Cope.
Hi, Waleed.
Hey, Jessica.
How you doing?
I'm still here.
Welcome back.
Another episode.
So for all of you who've never seen us before, you've never heard this podcast, we are a podcast called Commerce and Chill, where we talk about the intersection of business, the intersection of life, and the intersection
Headaches,
of
gray hairs, stress,
relationships,
good times, bad times, the ups and downs. Yeah, we're here. What are we talking about today?
Well, for the people who've never seen us before, it's their first visit, just to let them know we are married.
Yes, we are.
And we're in business together.
Yes, we are.
And we have two businesses.
Yes, we do.
One is a garment care business, which is affectionately referred to as the Soap Box.
AKA, we wash your clothes and we dry clean them. And we clean sneakers too. Why do I keep looking at the mic every time I talk into it? Like, that's weird. But anyway, sorry.
Maybe the mic is calling your attention.
I don't know. It's like really like addictive.
Talk to me. We also run our family business, our family security business, which is Johnson Security Bureau.
That is true. Armed and unarmed security guards.
There you go.
Throughout the tri-state area.
Tri-state, which tri-state? New York, New Jersey, Connecticut,
Connecticut.
Tri-state area. We also sell the best X-ray equipment for security. So holla at your girl.
Oh yeah, that's right. The new product line. Yep.
You can check out our website, so check out our social media profiles to find out more about the businesses. Had to get that out as a disclaimer because my mom said we didn't talk enough about the businesses on the last episode.
Well, at least we know we got one subscriber. Good. My favorite mother-in-law.
And if you have a mom that doesn't know how to download Commerce and Chill, show her how to access the Apple Podcast icon on her phone if she's an iPhone user.
That's it. To hit the download button for her.
Download,
hit the
subscribe, 5 stars, review. That simple.
Done.
So now we've done all of the disclaimers.
Yeah, we got all that out the way. So I'm going to go back to what's the topic. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're
Jay?
talking about my hero. We are going through some turbulent times in the world.
The hero?
My hero.
The hero, the sandwich, or like your superhero?
Oh, you know what they say, hero ain't nothing but a sandwich.
Oh.
And we're at that age where we're kind of sandwiched in between a bunch of different generations. We're between the baby boomers, we're between the millennials.
Yep.
And so, we're packed kind of nicely in there between two slices of bread. But instead of calling them two slices of bread, we'll just say heroes. So we're a generational hero.
True. I'm slacking one of our heroes right now.
Okay, go ahead and slack away. The thing about our businesses is that our businesses were started by previous generations of our families. So with the Soapbox, this is the second generation of garment care and laundry services, and at Johnson Security, we're third generation business. So from a family perspective, we can speak to multi-generational leadership in a family environment. And when we talk to other family-owned business owners, they want to know, how do you do it? Like, we hear all these horrible, terrible stories about, I couldn't work with my parents. They didn't understand my vision. They wouldn't let me in, so I couldn't stay in the family business. And so when people see us,
Family dynamics.
and they're like, wow,
Been there, done that.
you're still in the business? How do you manage that? Like, how did you work with your parents? And you just figure out a way to make it work. And I think
Or you just take them out. No, I'm just kidding.
Hope y'all didn't hear that. But the beautiful thing is, I think in having been around business with our family members, it taught us to appreciate different generations and different generational perspectives. Would you not agree?
Yeah, it does. It's all I can say is family dynamics. It's like the pros and cons. And it's interesting when there's one generation, but when you have multiple generations, it gets even more interesting. Yeah.
Well, I think that I've heard a lot more conversation around multi-generational dynamics in business, particularly when we talk about workforce dynamics in multi-generational businesses, because...
So when you say multi-generational, you mean multi-generational as in the ownership or just multi-generational in the workforce, the team that's working together?
Great question. Just multi-generational in terms of the workforce and the team, because more than 50% of the current workforce are millennials.
Okay.
We see that more baby boomers are retiring.
Okay.
But as we go through the current turbulence in the economy and in the job market, we'll probably see that a lot of baby boomers end up working a lot longer.
Some because they by choice and some not.
Exactly.
It's interesting right now.
What about us, the Gen Xers? Nobody talks about us, but we go to work.
I'm doing this to the day I die. I hope you saw the clip in the previous episodes.
On his tombstone,
6 feet,
I work till
a
the
hole
day
in
I
the
die.
ground, a coffin. So what's you guys' exit strategy? I'm going to do this till I die. That's my exit strategy. The coffin, the ground, 6 feet, me.
I worked till the day I died.
Damn right.
But there are a lot of training opportunities because some of the values of the different generations are not the same. The work ethics are perceived to not be the same.
I'm glad you said that, because people are constantly pooping on the millennials, and I think that they get a bad rap for nothing.
Yeah, but the millennials also take jabs at the boomers. Hey, boomer. Boy,
Yeah.
the boomers are the ones that paved the way for them to come through.
Yeah, but first of all, people dump on millennials. And listen, there's screwed up people or bad people, whatever term you want to use, or lazy people, or people who feel they're entitled or want it easy in every generation. They said about us in Gen X, oh, you're going to play video games and your brains are going to rot. Because they talk about the millennials with video games now. The video games came out in our generation. Pong, Atari, Centipede, or Atari 2600, freaking, what was this shit? Pitfall, and you had the fucking shit and jump the alligators and all that, right?
Donkey Kong.
People were
Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man.
Shout out to Miss Pac-Man, all up in the arcade all day, every day.
People was like, oh, it's going to rot your brains and X, Y, and Z. But so they said that about us, and people dump on millennials now and say, oh, because y'all don't go outside. When we were kids, we did this. Like the street lights came on, and we played outside. We had more social interaction. They have the same amount of they probably have more social interaction than we did, because they're able to communicate with a wider range of people because of the internet. We didn't have the internet in the form that it is now when we were young. So they can communicate with people. Listen, in other worlds. I mean, you see me, other worlds. Oh my God, I'm bugging out. I meant to say other
video games have fried your mind.
In other worlds, they're communicating with aliens in other worlds. I mean, other countries, other states, right? Where we were limited to the people on our block or in our community, because I could ride my bike 6 blocks over and hang out with my people in the park. Over in Brevoort.
I couldn't hang out in the park.
Shout out to my Brevoort, Bed-Stuy.
Stay out the park. Don't walk through the park.
But you could we could go around the block. You could only get within an immediate zone of where you were allowed to go. And if your parents really had you on lockdown, you could only ride your bike to the corner, or you couldn't go past the fire hydrant or the third tree on your block. So you could only hang out with the people within the radius of the fire hydrant and the third tree. And then whoever was across the street, and you would just yell back and forth to them, right? Because you couldn't cross the street unless an adult crossed you to the other side to play with your friends.
How old are you when that ended? Listen, you didn't do that until you were 18.
I don't listen. However, when I could run in the street and play Frogger and almost get hit by cars, but they have more. They have more social interaction than we did, right? So people dump on them. But here's the biggest thing: people dump on millennials. But my question is, the people who are dumping on them, you raised them. You parented them. So how can you complain about the ones that you parented? So if you want to be mad, you know what you should do? Go in your home, go to the bathroom, open the door, hit the light switch, and look in the mirror. That's who you complain to, because you raised them. So I'm finished. I'm off my soapbox.
Oh.
No pun intended.
All right. Well, we're not going to complain. We're going to talk about the positive side of being.
So we're talking about, the question was, are you talking about multi-generational in your workforce or generational family? So you said the workforce.
The workforce, as well as I'll say sponsors, advocates, and proponents for the business, right?
Okay.
I think that's one of the reasons why we've been rather successful, is because we have great relationships with people in older generations Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. I was waiting for you to finish. I didn't want to cut you off.
And we also been able to make great relationships with younger people to bring them onto the team, get their perspective, and really make them feel like they're a part of the decision-making process, listen to their input, get their engagement, and done that rather successfully, especially when we look at our social media and content team. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't y'all agree? Yeah.
They hate working here.
But in particular, I think about the other day. Recently, I got a text from one of our business coaches. So we have a business coach that's an octogenarian. For those who don't know, that means he's in his 80s. But he's
an octogenarian?
Octogenarian.
Oh, octa. I thought you meant like oxygen. I was like, well, he's someone that like generates oxygen? Like what?
I am your father.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm, yeah, exactly.
But he's been our business coach for a while, almost 10 years now. And I love a bunch of things about him. In fact, that he rides with us after all this time.
Cool AF.
He is cool AF. And in his 80s, he brings a different perspective of business because he's seen so much over his time in business. But he doesn't judge. He's not like, oh, you Gen Xers are pitiful, or you should. Back in the day, we used to do things my way. You should do it my way. He's really open minded. And he stays plugged in with the entrepreneurial community, with the high school community as a mentor, with the startup community, through the work that he does at NYU. Shout out to Mike Blumenfeld, our coach. We love you, Mike. One of these days we'll catch up with you and have lunch at your official office, the Penn Club, New York. But Mike sent me a text, and he was just like, "Hey, I'm checking in on you. I see that business times are really turbulent. How you doing?" And he was one of the first people, like, for real, the first person to want to see how we were doing amidst the turmoil
Says a lot.
We call Corona apocalypse.
Says a lot. So my question is, since you're talking about your heroes, what do you think is there a benefit to being multi-generational, or is it a disadvantage to be multi-generational? What's your view on having a multi-generational team?
So I definitely think that there are more benefits to being a multi-generational team than to being a single generational team. You get the different perspectives based on people from different age groups, as well as based on their different experiences. Mm-hmm. And typically the clients that we serve are not a monolith. Right. So even if we look at the laundromat, the soapbox, we have some people that come in that are in their 80s, and they may just want us to wash their linens, wash, dry, and fold their linens, wherein you might have somebody that's in their 20s that comes in and wants to get their Yeezys cleaned.
Absolutely.
Are we going to say to the Yeezy customer, we don't want your Yeezy money? No, I'll take your Yeezy money, thank you very much. And do we say to the octogenarian, yeah, your linens are not fly, don't come here?
No. Like, we servicing everybody.
We service everybody where it makes sense.
It doesn't matter who you are.
And we can learn from those clients, and they have friends, and so their friends might be in the same age group, they may not.
Absolutely. So, friends, family.
Number one, I think, is a benefit to the perspective and the different experiences across the generations. And I think historically, in many cultures, and we've gotten away from this in American society, the culture was based on a unit of different generations where the elders were respected, where the elders' input was valued. And we don't do that as much now. Like, we're quick to put our elders in nursing homes and try to make them be quiet as opposed to listening to them. And here at Johnson Security, my grandmother ran our business until she was in her 80s. Mm-hmm. And I recall as a child literally sitting at her knee and watching her run the business and listening to her as she made decisions and talked to clients and talked to employees and learning about life from her leadership, which if I were like, she don't know what she's talking about, and I just skedaddled on about my business, I'd probably be a very different leader. And part of the reason why the relationship with my grandmother was so important when it comes to business is because my parents stressed the importance of spending time with the elders.
Right.
So among my earliest babysitters were my grandmother's aunts. So let's put that in perspective. 1, 2, 3, 4 generations of women in my family. So the oldest generation and my representing the 4th generation, they watched me as a child. And so I could learn about our heritage, about our family, and about life in general from them. And so even when our aunts moved down south to Florida to a warmer location, my mother insisted that I write them, that I called them when they came to town, that I spent time with them. And so in business, it's not different. I don't write people off because they're older or younger. I try to spend time with them so that I can understand their perspective, and I think that makes me a better leader.
Okay, so you brought it back to business, saying that you feel it's an advantage to have more than one generation on your team. So what do you see as a definitive advantage for having more than one generation on your team?
Other than the perspective and the experience?
Yeah, like, I don't know, 2, 3 things you would say, like right off the top of your head, like this is a huge advantage of having more than one generation.
Number one, I would say it makes you more open to listen to other people's opinions.
Okay.
Because how the communication styles may vary across generations. Mm-hmm. Like even so Mike texts me to see how we were doing, right? But some people may say, "Oh, senior citizens don't text a lot, or senior citizens don't know how to use technology," right?
Tell my parents.
That's a misconception.
It's to me, because I see older people using a poop emoji all the time.
Not the poop emoji.
They be using the emojis just like everybody else. Some of them, my mom's text me. Sometimes it be penguin, flamingo, heart, thank you hands, smiley face, crying face. I'll be like, what is she going through? An episode of emotions over there? Then she'll write some words like, "Oh, just wanted to see if you were okay today, rainbow unicorn." And I'll be like, what the? Mom, what does all that other stuff mean?
Shouldn't have shown her how to do.
She was like, "Oh, they look cute." I'm like, "All right, you know."
But the funny thing about your mother is she doesn't wait for you to show her, because she has other young people she spends time with who show her how to navigate her phone and her computer. Next thing I know, she's like, "Oh, you need to get me a new printer so I can print out my pictures."
I need to put out my pictures.
You're like, "Where you get these pictures from?" "Oh, Ebony came by and downloaded them from my phone."
Or somebody texted them to me, "I want to print them out." She'll be showing me her phone. Be like, "Look, I don't want to lose all these. What can we do?" I'm like, "All right, we'll download them."
Right. And so it's just good to be anchored and understand the different communication styles, and to rebuff the misconceptions, right? Because I think there are a lot of misconceptions across generations, and the more time that you spend with other generations, it helps you to see.
Okay. So dispelling misconceptions, because you're spending time with them. You said getting different perspectives. So what's one advantage you've seen, or a plus that you've seen in our businesses because we have multi-generationals? Let's get super tactical. It affect the bottom line, because everybody who's in small business, who's in any business, and I'm sure our viewers who are in business, friends, colleagues, and digital friends and colleagues who have businesses, they're not just watching us to say, "Oh, I'm just watching them because I like to watch Waleed and Jess and it's like awesome, blah 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 blah."
No, they want action.
They want something that they could say, "Oh, what they said makes sense," or "What are they doing in their business that I could apply in my business that will help me go to the next level?"
All right, let me just drip it down.
So I want to have I have multiple generation people at my team, or I'm starting a business. I have 2 employees now, or I'm the sole employee because I'm self-employed. You know, it's the gig economy. I've been making Fiverr videos for a minute, and like I've built up a good amount of client base, and I'm getting some good revenue. But now I want to scale it because I don't want to stay up all night making these videos myself. So what would be, I got this older gentleman, and then I got this young lady who wants to join my team, and I need to hire 3 people, but I'm not sure if I should hire. I like them both, but I'm not sure because I'm worried, are they going to get along? He's in his late 40s, and she's like in her mid 20s. Like, are they going to get along? They both really make good videos. What are some things we can tell our audience to say why they should do it, because you've seen it affect your business in a positive way?
Okay, I'll give you 2 specific examples.
Awesome. 2 specifics.
Number
Get your
one,
pen and paper.
And I say this all the time, find people that have done it before and been successful.
Okay.
And connect with them.
Got it.
Those people who have been successful, they usually don't do things that are secret, and they want to share what has gotten them where they are.
Okay.
But too often people don't seek them out or don't ask the right questions when they seek them out.
Yep.
Right. And so there's a gentleman, Joe Argret. He works in construction here in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
He has a very successful concrete business, and he's considered like the godfather of MWBEs. And if you don't know what that is, that's minority and women business enterprises. It's diverse businesses.
Get your certifications, people.
Get
your
them. Certifications
Get them.
up. But Mr. Argret has been extremely successful in the New York construction market. And when I first took over the business, everybody was like, you need to know Joe. When we go to meetings, he'd be the person that'd stand up and get at the mic and be the person to testify in front of the House of Representatives and state legislature. And so then I would just call him and say, Mr. Argret, you have some time? I really want to learn more about your business. And so he took me under his wing and would kind of tell me things to help me better navigate the advocacy piece of small business.
Okay.
Knowing who are the right elected officials in New York to talk to know which agencies were a better fit to get business opportunities, and talk about legacy and planning for the next generation, or how to hand your business off and how to grow your business. So Mr. Argret was extremely helpful to me. That's one example. On the workforce side, we work very closely with the New York City Department for the Aging to try to identify strong candidates for openings that we have. And recently, we hired a finance assistant from the Department for the Aging. Thank you, Tina Desmond, for always sending us quality candidates.
Y'all gonna have to beat that out. I don't want people hitting up our contacts and getting all our good people.
Oh no, there are a lot of good people. There are enough good people to go around. Not to keep it a secret.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Anyway, Miss Tina sent us a candidate named Elsie Montalvo, and Miss Elsie. Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm just.
You like.
I'm paying attention.
You paying attention?
I'm like, where did he come from? He was out the room. Now he's back. Like he just reappeared out of nowhere.
But he knows Miss Elsie is a superstar. And what I love about Miss Elsie is that she works with our money, with our numbers, and she's meticulous about it. She has a level of detail that I haven't seen in a long time with people that deal with numbers. And I don't know if it's because of her maturity level, or if it's just because of her experience, or just because of who she is. But we had hired several young people in a similar role that never paid attention to the details the way that Miss Elsie does.
Okay.
Even as much as 0.25, a quarter of an hour, if it doesn't add up, she's gonna put her glasses on. She's gonna call a client. She's gonna call an operations manager. Like, she puts on her glasses. Get glasses, Alice. And she's gonna find out where that 0.25 of an hour went, because she's not gonna send an invoice that's incorrect to a client. She's not gonna mispay an employee, and she's going to be the investigator to get the numbers right. And again, I don't know if it's a level of maturity, but I see a difference in how Miss Elsie executes as opposed to younger people that we had in the same role previously. So those are examples of, on the higher end of the spectrum, a more mature relationship, how that worked out. But again, on the younger level, we see the same thing with the content team, right? We started with Mr. Ordonez, and Mr. Ordonez brought a friend who brought a friend who brought a friend, and he shed light for us on where we should look for content talent. He shed light on us about tools we could use to increase and improve our social media output. And occasionally, we want to shadow box him. But all in all, he's a great asset to the team.
You said shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Not shadow boxing. I'm trying to box him for real.
No, we can't do that for real. That'd be abuse.
Oh, sorry.
We don't abuse our team members.
I mean, like, go to the gym and box. Like, workout type box.
Yeah, you shadow box him. Just like...
2 to the potato.
And so he's a very valuable member of the family, right? Because we're family now. We've broken bread with his family. He's broken bread with our family.
Ceviche.
Ceviche and meatballs. He had meatballs.
Oh, meatballs. Yeah.
Yeah, we just ate meatballs
when we had at
the family dinner.
At the dinner. Yeah.
Shout out to the newlyweds. But
CJ Skillet.
So I definitely
this episode is gonna be tight. I said
think that there's benefits to being open-minded about working with people who don't necessarily see the world the way that you do, and creating an environment where different perspectives and different age groups can work closely together without being judged.
okay. I think you drilled down on it and gave us two solid examples of one being in your network and then one actually being on your team.
So don't sleep on the other generations when it comes to your business. You're like, they can really have a positive impact on how you do, how you grow, how you execute. So don't just look for people that look like you. Look at other people. What about on the personal side, like personal relationships? Can you think of different multi-generational relationships that we have that are working?
Like, I don't have friends. I'm at work all the time.
Sydney Sweets. That'd be, to me, an example.
Yeah, but I like, yeah, because like, see, this
help the people on the other side know.
But who Sydney Sweets is?
Yeah.
Oh well, Sydney Sweets are it's a dynamic couple that are friends that have a bakery business. They make all kind of stuff like cookies, cupcakes, wedding cakes. Like if it's a dessert and it's edible, they make it. Like they make some, like, go check out their freaking Instagram. The photos of, like, will blow your mind. Like the stuff they make. They have this key lime cake.
Is it key lime cake or key lime cheesecake?
No, it's regular cake. Okay. I don't think it's cheesecake. Whatever it is, try it. But like, go to their Instagram. It's Sydney Sweets. Sydney
with 2 Y's.
Yeah.
SYDNEY.
I'm a horrible speller, but like we'll like link it up and then we'll make it pop up in the video. But check them out. But one, I always have, like, I'm always more lean towards businesses who are like who are friends, colleagues, associates, whatever category you want to, a label you want to use to be politically correct in this day and age, who are couples and in business, because it's what we do. So like I gravitate towards that, and I always have. I have a lot of respect for anybody who's in business, but when they're a married couple and they work together and they work closely together, I even have a whole new level of respect, because it takes a whole new level of commitment to be in that, because you're with somebody who you live with, and then you work with them. You're traveling with them to and from work, or going to the job site, like when they have to deliver, and set up the venue and then break things down. That you spend a lot of time together, so it's easy to be like, this sucky person is getting on my last nerve. And then you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to work, so blah, blah, blah. Like, you going to work, and then you look across, you're like, damn, they're in a car with me. So I have a lot of respect. So I would say, yeah, that fits into what you were saying, that someone, it's like, I don't really view them as a different generation. That's why it's kind of weird for me, even though technically, like, you look at age-wise, because, like, in here, I'm not the same age. And inside of me is a different age than what you see on the outside. And I think, yeah, it's like I told you in a couple episodes ago, it's a lot going on in here. People think, like, which is why I like having a multi-generational team. So, you brought up the content team. Like, they're in their 20s, right? And in my head, I'm like, I'll run with these cats. Like, we laughing and we joking about this, or we're debating about the internet or content or what's going on. And people think, because when you get a certain age, like when I was their age, and I think of somebody who's in their 50s, I'd be like, they're done. They're like they're old. But when you start getting in your mid 40s or your early 40s or your late 40s or your early 50s, inside you still physically, you're not the same as when you was in your 20s, but you still have the same desire and mentality to go out there, depending who you are, to deliver the same fire and effort to crush it.
Right.
So like, if one of them was like, oh, Mr. Cope, I could run faster than you if we ran down a block, I would be outside, be like, let's go. They might beat me, and you never know. Might have to go reach in my reserve tank and hit the nitrous oxide and smoke one of them going down the block or go out on the court and shoot a J and blast their eyes out. You just never know, right? But I think that's one of the greatest things about having a what's up, man? Generational team, because you get to blend all that together. Like, you don't make a cake without a bunch of different ingredients. Like, you just can't say, I got, an egg and some flour and I got a cake. It takes the sugar, the egg, maybe vanilla, all these other items, you put it together, and then you need to put it in the oven, so you have to confine them all in this dish and then put it in the oven and turn up the heat. And together they all come together and make some bad stuff. A cake that tastes awesome.
That's
and then,
like the lady gave the example in the prayer call this morning.
I don't know, wasn't listening.
Okay.
Then you come out and you take the cake and you put frosting or icing on it. Winning. So to me, multi-generational, I like it personally because, one, it brings a lot of different viewpoints to what we're working on, a lot of different experiences, young, old, middle. It's all over the place.
Right.
I'm getting flashed by Hamlet to wrap it up, just the 1 minute mark.
Right.
But I'm running over time today, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, I'm here for you. You get all that, you get to mix it up, get different opinions, different viewpoints, different experiences, and then you take all that, put it all together, and you can have a dynamic workplace and a dynamic service or product that you're delivering to your clients, your end user. And to me, I think it's also good because it keeps you on your toes.
Okay.
Because I'll have one team member from another generation will be like, "Oh, we should do it this way, Cope," or "This is my viewpoint." And then I have another team member who's from a younger generation who doesn't have the same mental blocks, and not in a bad way, or limitations, because they haven't experienced some of the things a different person has experienced who's in a totally different, a baby boomer versus a millennial. The baby boomer has experienced these different things, and they've come up with sometimes good and bad, preconceived notions like, you can't do this, or you can't do this that way. Where the millennial will be like, I'm not aware of any of the stuff that they went to. He just gave me the 0 sign, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't go through any of the stuff that baby boomer went through that has them locked into only be able to do this thing this one way. They're like, why can't we do it this way? Or why can't we paint it red? Why do we always have to paint it blue? Because their mind hasn't been tainted, for a lack of better terms, by some of the other experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. They're just open to be like, let's do this. So when you hear that, I'm like, yeah, why can't we paint it red? So let's paint it red.
Let's paint it red. So just to summarize what you just kind of said, and to take into account, if you think about your first experience or somebody giving you a chance, it wouldn't have happened if somebody, in most cases, didn't look beyond their own generation.
When I finally got a job, because we know the story about how, Barry and I had to create our job, it was someone who was older than me, a baby boomer, who got me a job at a nursing home. And everybody there was way older than me.
Right.
Nursing home.
So on that note, thank you for stopping by Commerce and Chill. It's been a fun-filled, quick episode where we talked about being heroes. Like, we have our own heroes, which are people from different generations.
So the hero is the people, or is the hero the sandwich?
The hero is the people.
But I'm really thinking it's really a sandwich, because if you have a hero, it has multiple layers in it. So if
we don't have time for all of that.
But if we equate the sandwich, and the sandwich has different layers, the different layers of people on your team who are all different ages or from all different generations. So you put them all together, you have a hero, and then you all win together, because you have people who are millennials, baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y. You put them all together, you put some dressing on it, you put ketchup, mayonnaise, whatever you want to put on it, you put the bread on it, and you eat it, and it all tastes good together. I'm out. I just solved the problem. Hire everybody, all different ages, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out.
So, let us know your thoughts. Do you think the hero is the people, or do you think the hero is the sandwich and the people are part of the sandwich? Regardless, let us know what your thoughts are about multi-generational businesses, having relationships with multi-generational couples working together, because when you embrace different generations in business and in your personal relationships, it helps to provide different viewpoints and perspectives as well as experiences. You're able to provide people with experience they may not have otherwise received, and you create a dynamic workplace, which leads to a dynamic product and or service, and it keeps you on your toes. Does that work, boss?
I'm gonna sum it up. Hire people of all different ages and generations in your business. If you're looking to hire people, hire different people, so the different people bring different things, and you will win.
This has been Commerce and Chill. I'm Jessica Johnson Coe.
I'm Waleed. Hire different people.
Subscribe, rate, click,
Email,
tell a friend.
questions, shout us out.
See you on social. Bye.